Hi Scrapbookers, this is Megan and I am here with another December daily page and I'm going to add the pictures. Now we left off at day 11, so I'm going to do day 12 here, and I have 4 pictures because I have these 2 page spreads. So I am going to put these 3 smaller pictures on these 3 small pocket pictures, the 3x4s. And then I have one 4x6 picture, and I am going to put that one on the bracket page. And for this day, I took a picture of the weather because it was so unusually warm. It was 55 degrees, and that's like crazy high for Idaho Falls in December, because normally it's like at the highest like in the 30s. So that I had to record. And then that was the day we got our first Christmas card in the mail, and it was from my cousin and her husband and her little baby. And so I thought that would be fun to record that. So I just took a picture of it hanging on our fridge, and I just cut out around the rest of it. And then the other picture that's on the bottom left-hand side is a picture of my son. That day I went to the gym because I used to work in the nursery at the gym to get a free membership, and he would come with me some days and some days he wouldn't. So that day he came with me, and I don't remember why he came with me, but maybe I went later in the day, I don't remember. But so he came with me to do that, and he drew a picture, and so I took a picture of him holding the picture that he drew while he was there. So that's what that bottom left-hand picture is. And then up here on that top left-hand card, I'm going to put a scallop little border just to give that card a little bit more interest. And it's not a very big border, it was very small. And then I decided after I cut that out that it kind of blended in a little bit too much with the background paper that I had on there. And so I decided to use this other piece of paper and put it there. And I really like how this page came out. It was simple and easy. And the title card up there at the top, in the top right hand uh, pocket with the number, that one is where I'm going to do my journaling. And also it has a sticker that says friends on it, and I just end up leaving it there even though we don't really, it's all just random family stuff that I am talking about here on this page. And I just it didn't have a sticker for family or anything, so I was just like, I'm just gonna leave it. So now I'm just journaling about what happened that day. And then I'm putting all of these pictures in the slots. And for this picture, I decided I didn't like the color and I wanted to do it in black and white. And so I will just have to print it out in black and white, and then I'll show you in the flip through. So I moved on to day 13, and on day 13 we went to our church Christmas party, and it was just at our building, and my husband actually came, which is always surprising to me because so my husband and I were Mormon. We both grew up Mormon, and we got married in the Mormon temple and everything. And then about 4 years ago, right before I had my 3rd child, he decided that he was going to not go to church, and he started looking into anti-Mormon websites and stuff like that. So fast forward 4 years, and he is now inactive and does not believe in the Mormon church or anything like that. And we have gone through a lot emotionally. But anyway, that's besides the point. So it's just really surprising to me when he agrees to come to ward get-togethers. So he decided to come to the ward party with us. And so that was a lot of fun. He and my son Jonas were singing in those two pictures, and so that was fun. Okay, so for this day number 14, I just had this one picture that I took of our tree with the lights on. And this one I am actually going to sorry, I got distracted. So for this one, I'm actually going to reprint this page or this picture too because it's just a little too dark. But so for this one, I am going to use some scraps from this very last little bit of paper that I have left. And I'm just going to use, that one was a journaling card. It should have been a 4x6, but I had cut into the paper. And so this part just says fun. So I'm going to just write tree fun on it. And then that is it for that page. And then, well, I will also do some journaling. So I'm just gluing those down. And oh, I also add it looked a little bare to the right there, so I added the year 2014. And I'm thinking about using this sticker as like a border or something, but I just couldn't, I didn't like it there, and so I put it back. Now I'm going to journal, and I'm just going to write, I love looking at our Christmas tree. It isn't perfectly decorated, but it's perfect for us. And I wrote that because the kids are the ones that we normally let put all the decorations on the tree. And so they're kind of close together and the colors are right next to each other. And so it's not a perfect tree, but they have fun doing it. And it's, just something that we like to let them do. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to page number 15. Oh, I think I was starting some music or a new podcast or something there, so I apologize about that. So for day number 15, I have two pictures. One is of Eva, and the other one is of my husband reading books to my kids that night. And also you can see our dog in the bottom left-hand corner. And that is all I'm going to do to this picture besides, or to this page besides journaling. So I guess I am also going to outline the background paper on these. And then I say, Mark read a few Christmas books before bed while Sirius chewed on his bone. And then I'm also going to journal up at the top, and that one is going to say, the boys thought it was so funny finding Eva hanging from the doorknob. And I just thought that was a fun spot for her to be. I am the one that decided to put her there, so I was really proud of myself for doing that. And then I just outline the chipboard paper. And then we will move on to day number 16. And for this one, it was kind of a busy day. So I had a lot of pictures and I decided to make a little collage. So I'm going to cut that down a little bit. And there's 3 pictures there of my kids, so one of each kid, and they all got haircuts on that day. So I had them with their newly cut hair. And then also in the bottom right hand corner, I had gone to the dentist that day. And so I just put that there to kind of make up for the last picture. And I decided to put a title on this one because it was kind of bare up there where that wire mesh stuff is. So I wrote out 3 haircuts, 1 dentist appointment. So fun. I wanted to write so much fun, but I didn't have the enough letters to write much, which I guess I could have used the red ones, but since this page was mainly blue, I decided that it wouldn't look that good if I had done that. So there I'm just writing appointment. I abbreviate it and I write APPT, and then I'm going to do so fun. So here I'm sitting trying to spell out words. And then I'm just going to spell that out. And I don't know if you can tell this, but my son Jonas, that's up in the left-hand corner, that's his picture. I did his haircut at home, and the other two got theirs done at the salon. Okay, so for this day, I had two different pictures, and on this day, it was pretty cold, colder than it had been, because the week before it had been in like the high 40s and 50s, and then this week it had gone down to 32 and 33, and on this particular day it was 32. But I forgot to take a picture of the weather on my phone, and so I went to the weather website, or I don't know, AccuWeather or something like that, and I just printed out the whole month, and then I just colored around the box of the day for the 17th so that we would know what the weather was that day. And then I also took this, I didn't actually take this picture. I think it was a picture from a friend's blog, or maybe from Facebook or something. I think it was from Facebook probably. But I just took a picture of the trees from Facebook and I printed it out. And I believe it's about 4.5 by 5.5, or 4 by 5.5, I think. And I just wrote, this cold day gave us pretty trees with hoarfrost. And if you don't know what hoarfrost is, I actually just learned about this last year because my friend is really into trees and weather and flowers and things. And so she knows a lot about this stuff. And she said something about hoarfrost once. And I was like, hoarfrost, what is that? And she told me that that's when the trees look like this, that's what it's called. And I'm not sure the explanation of it, but I just know when I see the trees looking like this that it's called hoarfrost. So I feel all smart. But that was it for this page. Now we're going to move on to page number 18. And for this day, I had two different pictures. One was of Eva sitting on Sirius's cage. That's where my husband decided to put her, and Sirius was really not that thrilled about it. So I backed it on this lighter blue paper so that I could write the journaling on there. And then I also had this picture of my middle son, Brennan. My husband had brought in a really long icicle and he handed it to Brennan, and Brennan was like, "What? Why did you give this to me?" And so I took a picture of him, and the whole time I was taking the picture, he was like, "This is so cold." And you can tell on his face that he's just like, "I don't like this." It's just kind of funny to me to see that picture. So I just journal about Sirius not being pleased about Eva being on his kennel, but the boys thought it was so funny and they loved it. And then that Daddy brought Brendan an icicle from outside. It was really cold to hold, he said. So I thought that was cute. Oh, and there I was looking up how to spell icicle because I figured, because I started to write it and then I was like, oh, I should probably figure out if it's an E or an I that you spell it with. And it's an I, ICICLE, sorry. Okay, so now we're going to move on to page 19. And for this one, let's see, I had two pictures and I thought that I had a third one for that day. So one of the pockets I leave blank because I need to go back and look for another picture because I swear that I had another one for that day. So I just glue those two down, and now we're on to page 20. And for this day, I had a couple pictures of my husband with my kids, and then also Eva. And so I just journal family reading time before bed, And then I put in parentheses, Bear Stays Up, which was the name of the book. And I really love this picture of the kids and my husband. It's really cute. And then there's that one up in the top right of my husband and Jonas. And that one is really cute too. So I'm not going to do very much with this. I'm just going to add a little piece of pattern paper to layer underneath that picture of Jonas and his dad. And then the picture of Eva, I am just going to glue down. And so that ends day 20. Now we'll move on to day 21. And I know I'm going backwards here, so it's kind of, or not backwards, sorry. It's kind of going fast, but this, it took me 2.5 hours to do all of these pages, the 12 through 25. And so I just thought I would make it go a little bit faster so you guys wouldn't be watching for 45 minutes or more. Okay, so on this day, we did two different things. It was a Sunday. So the picture on top is at night, and that actually was the last thing that happened. And what we did was every Sunday, the last Sunday before Christmas, we go around and we look at all the lights on Candy Cane Lane. And then also on the 21st, we went to my husband's work and we took individual photos and pictures of the three kids. Because we didn't get to do that the day that we went outside and took our family pictures. And so I wanted to make sure that we got those so we could hang them up in our house. And the reason I didn't post a picture of the boys is because I didn't really like any of the pictures of the boys that came out that day. But I really did love this picture of me and my husband. And it's been a long time since we have taken a picture of just the two of us. And so I really, really loved how this one turned out. And that's why I decided to put a picture of him and I instead of, one of the kids or anything like that. And so I'm just going to put that picture over in the right-hand corner. And then I also felt like I needed to journal a little bit about why I picked this picture of my husband and I to put on this page. And so I just cut out this journaling 3x4 card, and I'm going to cut it down a little bit more than that and then round all of the corners and then put the number right there. And on the journaling, I just write, I love this picture of Mark and me. I'm so glad we took it. So, and I'm really happy. It does kind of bother me that the thing we did at night is on the top and then the thing we did during the day is on the bottom. So I might end up switching those around. But for right now, I'm just going to leave it there. So now I am off looking to see if I want to add anything more to these pages, and I do end up putting this winter sticker right there up on the top. And then also I was thinking about using that berry, but I decided not to. And then I'm going to use this tree. It just felt a little bit bare up there at that top right next to the picture, so I just put that there and then cut off the top. I don't know. I think it looks good. Maybe it looks kind of funky having the top cut off to you, but I like it, so I was happy with it. Okay, now for day 22, my kids and I made sugar cookies, and so I just printed off 3 different pictures of them doing that. And I love that picture of Jonas down there on the bottom. He is my oldest, and he is a really, really picky eater. He really doesn't like a whole lot of food or even candy and stuff like that. And so I told him that he should try the cookie dough. And so he actually did, and he loved it. And I just thought that was so funny that he actually loved it. And so I put a little peppermint sticker there along with the little penguin, and I thought that looked really cute. So I'm just going to glue all of these things down, all of these pictures, and then I'm going to write the journaling. We had so much fun making sugar cookies. Jonas tried the dough and found out he loves it as much as the cookie version. Oh, the cooked version, and possibly more. I love these moments with my boys. So sugar cookies are Jonas's favorite cookie, and so he thought it was really yummy to eat just the cookie dough. And that is all that I do with these 2 pages, or 2 pocket cards, I guess I should say. So I spend a little time fiddling with them to get them into the pocket, and then I'm going to move on to page 23. And this page, I had 3 photos. 2 of them were medium size, and then this really little teeny one was a picture of my needle from my sewing machine, because for the rest of this week before Christmas, I was frantically trying to sew up all of our PJs. We do this tradition, we have a tradition where I make pajama pants for all of the kids. And this year I decided I was going to make pajama pants for my husband as well. And I was also trying to make pajama pants for my friend's kids that has cancer. Well, my friend that has cancer, I was trying to make pajama pants for her kids because I made them last year and they really loved them. And so I wanted to make them some more for this year. And so I was frantically trying to sew them all. And I don't even know how it happened, but somehow I bent my needle and it was really, really bent. And so I had to take a picture of it and include it in my December daily. But yeah, so the fabric on the top is the fabric I used for the kids' pajamas and also for my husband's. And then the picture of the stocking is something that Tinian made that day at school because his preschool ended on the 23rd. So I just included that. And then for the 24th, we also have another tradition of going to see a movie on Christmas Eve. And this year we went to Big Hero 6. So I wanted to include that picture, but I also wanted to include a picture of Brennan looking at the presents under the tree, as well as reading the Grinch Stole Christmas on Christmas Eve night. So there wasn't a whole lot of room for all of these pictures, so I kind of had to play around with the placement of them. And I really like how it turned out. So this is the layout that I'm going to do. And I'm going to glue them down and then journal on top of the picture of them outside the theater. And it just says, "We loved the movie Big Hero 6. And then the bottom picture is my husband reading to the boys Christmas Eve night. And it says, oh, sorry. So that one is going to be journaling for above. And that says, Brennan spent a lot of time checking out the presents under the tree. And then I wrote, we read How the Grinch Stole Christmas in our new PJs before bed. Is it weird that I'm reading my journaling to you? I hope it's not, because sometimes I don't normally do it like that, but I figure I might as well. For this picture, I decided to mat it on this blue polka dot piece of paper. And it's a very, very small mat. You can barely even see it, so I'm just going to glue that down there, and this page is done. So I'm going to put those 2 in their page protector and move on to day 25, the last page. So I have 2 pictures here, and they're of my kids with their presents on Christmas Day. And I'm thinking that I want to cut this one up and have it just be my two boys and then have the dog Sirius in the middle of both pictures. And then the one of Tinian down on the bottom. And this was the page, I don't know if you remember, that I wasn't really sure that I would keep the layout like this. So even though the papers are glued down, I'm going to have to pull them up and re-glue them because they're on removable glue dots right now. So that's why I'm removing everything and then re-gluing it. If you haven't seen my videos from before of the page bases, that is the reason why. You'll have to go back and look at that if you want to see those. And this page is, since this is the last day I'm doing, I just went to day 25. This one I decided to do a front and a back of, and there are a couple reasons why. So if you are friends with me on Facebook, I don't think a lot of you are, but if you know me on Facebook, you might have heard that my son got bit by my dog on Christmas Day. And it was kind of a really, I don't know how to explain it. And maybe you're going to get bored. But so we opened presents and my husband woke us up at like 6:30 or something like that. He's like a little kid himself. He just can't wait for us to wake up on Christmas morning. And so he woke us up at 6 o'clock and we let the dog out and he was just kind of sitting around and we gave him his presents and the kids were opening their presents from Santa and all of this stuff. And then around, I don't even remember, 9 o'clock, we went and ate breakfast and then we were just kind of hanging out and playing with toys. And I went downstairs and came back up and was doing something in the bathroom. And I suddenly, around 11 o'clock, I was in the bathroom. I heard a huge scream like someone got hurt. And it came from the living room where my husband was sitting in the room reading. And it came from Brennan, and I rushed into the room, and Mark was freaking out because Brennan was bleeding a ton, like on his face. It was right under his lip. Apparently, Brennan had gone over to pet Sirius, and Sirius just jumped at him and bit his under his lip. And Brennan had this huge gash under his lip. I mean, it was like an inch to an inch and a half. But it was deep. It was really deep. And so I had to take Brennan to the emergency room. Sirius went into his cage for the rest of the day and was not allowed to come out just to play or anything like that. We let him stay in there so that he would know he was in big trouble. And we were really freaked out by this. And so this back page is the documenting of what happened to Brennan. And I didn't want to make it like this. I don't know how to explain it. I wanted it to be part of the December Daily because it's something that happened, but it was really a hard thing for all of us because we have to give up our dog now because he is just getting worse and worse. I've noticed that since this happened, he doesn't like to be around the kids. He prefers to be around my husband and I. And so he has just deteriorated since we got him. Like at first he loved being around the kids and he, would let them hang on him and I think over time it's just become more stressful on him. We got him secondhand. So he is 2.5 years old, almost 3 now. And the people before us, we think that they must have abused him or not taking care of him or, stuff like that, because ever since we've gotten him, he has just become more stranger. Like he has really bad stranger anxiety. And if people come into our house, he just can't deal with it. He barks at them, he jumps at them, he nips at people. And so it's just really, really sad. So we are going to have to give him away. And that is going to be really hard. This is our second dog that we have had to give away because of behavior issues. And so it's just kind of hard. So back to the layout. I'm sorry about that little tangent, but I am just going to cut these 3 pictures down and place them right on top of each other, like you can see there. And I did do a little scallop border on the left-hand side. And so the top picture is right before the incident happened with my son. My husband had gone upstairs and found Sirius, just hiding right there next to between the tree and the couch. It was really like we just kind of laughed at it, but I mean, if you can see the picture, like he looks kind of like what the heck is going on, and that's kind of how he was the whole day, which is the reason why I think he bit my son. He just kind of was so just out of place in his own home. He just didn't feel normal, and it was not a normal day, and so it just kind of he just kind of snapped, and he snapped at my son, and it's really unfortunate. Okay, so I took some strips of paper and just layered them right next to the main mat, and then I'm just kind of pulling them up to give them that extra dimension. I really like how that looks. Here I'm going to fuss with the papers a little bit more. Now I'm going to do some journaling, and I use that whole side of the paper to journal because I have a lot to say about this day. It was kind of a long day. Brennan and I spent 4 hours, 2 different times in the ER. The first time was a 2 hour brigade, whatever, and that was when it first happened, and that was at 11. We went to the ER, and then we went home, and for some reason the stitches came out, so we had to go back around 2 or 3 o'clock, I think, and then we didn't get home until about 6. So by the time we got home, Mark had started dinner and was eating with the kids, and so we ate. And then after that, we thought since we didn't get to spend a whole lot of time together as a family that day, we would play the Wii U. We let Brennan pick which games we got to play, and we just kind of sat and played together. And that was fun. So this is the last page, and I will hopefully be back tomorrow with a flip through of the whole album, and I will show you some close-ups and things and just kind of go through the album all in one sitting. So thanks so much for watching and for hanging in there with me through this series. I hope you'll come back and see the completed album. Have a great day. Bye.